Your favorite brand?
One of my favorite brands.
Ride.
Yeah, bud.
They got a lot of new shit.
Mm-hmm. Never mind, I won't say that. Big Jim might get real pissed at me. We're gonna skip that. All right, so yeah, like they just kind of revamped their board line like a lot of new names, a lot of like renaming some shit, and just kind of some refinements throughout. Number 1, Commissioner instead of Timeless.
Yeah, so the Commissioner, you can find that on page 8, which
the story basically I got was the full aluminum top sheet made their factory hate them.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Yeah, like it's just a pain in the ass to get that made right.
And to get it to stay. I've heard horror stories of people like having it delam and stuff.
Yeah, thank God mine hasn't yet, but because I'm real sad if that happens because I love that board.
I got a hammer.
I love it. I don't want you anywhere near my snowboards with a hammer.
I got a hammer. I can fix this.
But
my dad's got a sweet set of tools.
But it's a combo of aluminum and carbon. They do, let's see. Yeah, they still call it an aluminum top sheet because they don't use tit anal in any of their snowboards.
You can say aluminum correctly, but you can't say titanium.
No.
You're so juvenile.
Also, whenever I type up my reviews, it is always aluminium. I don't know if you've noticed.
Stop putting that extra I in there.
That's every other metal on the periodic table has an IUM at the end of it, except when it's in the U.S. only and it's aluminum. So aluminium.
We invented it and we made it better.
Did we?
I don't know.
I feel like the Taiwans got it locked down there. They're real good at making that aluminium.
Fuck you.
Anyways, I'm really excited to ride that board because how much I love the Timeless, and this should just it should hopefully fill that emotional void that I have of not having the aluminium monster be in the line anymore. But yeah.
Then there's another board called the Algorithm, which is basically they threw a lot of good shit into that. But it's a directional twin hybrid rocker, with quadratic side cut, so that's a 4 radius side cut.
More or less, they finally killed your least favorite snowboard.
That's right.
They finally got rid of it.
It has taken me years of shitting on that thing continuously. Paul McGinty, wherever you are, fuck the Machete GT, and then fuck Ride for keeping that in the line after they let him go. I
almost wonder if Chilton kept it in the line as long as he did just to piss you off.
I feel, well, there was that whole year that I made the catalog where they shit on me.
Yep.
I was like, you can shit on me all you want. I've now outlived that board. So go fuck yourselves.
Yep. But yeah, they threw a lot of good shit in it. That's definitely something I'm interested to ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one, it just, it's so camber dominant, and then you look at like what's inside it.
It's got some shit inside of it.
Yeah, and as I said, that's page 10 in the catalog. The Burnout's got a new side cut to it. Or what is it? Is that what it was? It's got something. Yeah, it's got a new side cut. So that's going to change how that board's going to ride for sure. It's
definitely, yeah.
Linear twin side cut design with flat kick.
Which I think it needed an update to the side cut. Like the side cut very much felt like a slope style board where you really had to drive it to get it to do what you wanted it to.
Yeah, it basically looks like they just mellowed it out because even so, like I would normally ride the 155, and that's a 7.9 radius.
Yeah.
So for all you nerds that nerd out on side cut radiuses, and just know when I'm product reviewing, I don't even look at the radius. I just go, it turns.
Yeah, I look at it, but
you're a nerd. Like you're a bigger nerd. Then you've got the introduction of the Super Pig.
Yeah, this is probably going to be the biggest thing for Ride for next year is the introduction of the Super Pig.
Yeah, and that's on page 12. It's basically a beefed up mountain pig, if you will.
Berserker got a redesign.
It does.
Funny story on this one. I was talking to Big Jim over at Ride about this one, and I guess what Jake said when they said, like we wanted to redesign the Berserker, it's time for a new edition of this. And Jake literally just said, I want it to be smoother. And then he didn't elaborate. And Big Jim's answer to that was, the fuck does that even mean? And they did some stuff to it. They changed some things here and there, and then he wrote it, and he went, yeah, you know what? It's fucking smoother. Yeah. So basically what I understand is they mellowed out the contact points, gave a little bit different side cut, and tapered it a little bit, which it's going to make it smoother.
There you go. That works for it. Yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff there. In terms of women's stuff, there's the new Psycho Candy.
Yep, which is women's War Pig, more or less.
Yes, and that's on page 48 for any of you ladies following around or any guys that for some reason want to buy a board called the Psycho Candy.
I mean, I would ride it.
You would ride anything.
Yeah, maybe.
You have no standards.
I think it looks great.
You're evil, you know that, right?
Yeah. OMG is renamed to the Back Talk. And Jill Perkins is now riding women's boards instead of men's boards. She's been riding the Back Talk instead of the Kink. So
that's page 49. Then there's the new Magic Stick women's.
Yeah, which is, I got the story on that one as well. That is replacing Hellcat.
Okay,
and
so that's going to be Hana's board.
Basically, they sent their coalition of chicks up to ride this and the old Hellcat, because this doesn't have the pop walls anymore like the Hellcat did.
Okay.
This is a little bit mellower than Hellcat was, and basically the response was, we like this. We like it to be not quite as demanding and aggressive. So that's what the Magic Stick is.
Okay, so that's it. And then there's the new women's Heartbreaker, too, on page 53.
Yeah, which is budget, I think.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is what it is, but it's
got a quadratic side cut, though. It's got a real side cut to it.
Yeah, what's the radius on that thing?
6893, 6994, 7095,
so that thing's going to turn well.
Yeah, it's going to turn good for sure.
And that's kind of the big story for Ride, was just boards.
Yeah.
I didn't really notice too much in the bindings or boots this year.
Not really much of anything.
Yeah, not really anything new on that front, I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool new colorway with a fuse. It's kind of it, I think. Yeah, I don't think they really changed anything in boots. I think boots are pretty much the same.
Okay.
Oh, no, they did update Slime Tongue on the fuse. It's got a new kind of contouring or shaping to it.
Okay.
It's called the Flex Slime Tongue. I have no idea what it changes, really. So we'll find out.
Marketing.
Yeah, marketing probably. I love Slime Tongue, in case you guys haven't seen me talk about that yet. I think it's one of my favorite technologies in snowboarding right now, or for boots at least, because it's just ridiculously durable. Like, it lasts forever. That's the only boot I've ever had lasts more than 100 days. So.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So Slime Tongue's dope. I'm curious to see if there's any structural difference in that. I did crack mine, and I'm wondering, having looked at it a little bit, it has these flex screws right across the ankle ditch.
Oh, right there after the instep and everything.
Yeah.
And that would probably make sense.
And I think maybe that's what that's for, is I'm wondering if they were seeing those tongues crack, because in combination of just the material of what it is and the fact that tongue tied is right there to anchor that tongue back there, it doesn't, it just has a little bit more aggressive flex point right above tongue tied, and that's where I was cracking it. It was right above that. So
I wonder how many people were cracking it there.
Right, so I'm thinking maybe that's why they did that.
Could
be. So it'd be interesting to see where that lines up and where that ends.
So. Gotcha. All right.
Yep. That's Ride.
That is Ride. Do you want to swing into some little brands, maybe?
Yeah.
Let's take a look at what Academy's got going on.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right. So I talked to Chato the other day, and was stoked to see him. See what he's doing. But basically, they added a bunch more wide sizes to everything. Also, the big story is Chris Roach is riding for them. So
nice to see OG being taken care of.
Well, with whatever the fuck's going on over at Sims.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Roach is riding for him, and he's got the Masters, which is one step above Chad O's Graduate, I guess is what you would call it. But the Graduate is Chad O's. But
it's got a great shape.
That shape is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
I just love that design of that shape.
The shape and the graphic. The graphic's really good too.
Kind of looks like a LibTech, almost like a Perillo graphic or something.
Yeah.
But I love that it's designed for speed.
Yes.
Micro camber, directional, OG shape, medium flex, which means it's going to be playful. Gonna bet that it probably was similar to a sim shape or something like that.
That'd be my guess. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's kind of the big story over there with Academy is that board, and then just adding wider sizes to like the team, and I think they added it to the Propa Camber. Propa Camba, and the Propaganda. They said, just wider sizes for your bigger footed riders, and that's what Academy has going on with it. Then let's see, who else shall we talk about next? Let's see what else we got going on here. Oh, why not? We did Academy. Let's go take a look at Sims.
Sure.
Because, evidently they're still kind of in business. Just weird.
Vaguely.
Weird. Very, very weird.
They have 3 boards.
They do. It's a very sleek line this year for 2020.
Got Tom Sims Pro, Juice, and So Fun.
And the So Fun is a new model.
Was that women's? Was that what I remember? No.
No.
Or yeah, it was. Yeah,
that's the. I like the shape on that.
I know. I wish they made that in
dude sizes.
Yeah,
but
oh well, they're barely a brand in the U.S.
Yeah, Sims Japan is a completely different story.
Yeah.
Looking at, I want to ride some of that Sims Japan stuff.
I know. They got some great shapes.
Oh my god. I'll let it touch me all over with that.
Yes, please.
And then, let's see. What other little brand? Oh, we could talk about Niche, too.
Yeah.
Niche has a huge
Niche has got some stuff, yeah. Huge overhaul, big stuff going over on Niche.
Yeah, so they moved factories.
Yeah, they are now out of the Kyle factory. And if you haven't heard of them, that's because they don't make a ton of snowboards. As of right now, according to... suddenly I drew a blank of his name. Todd, thank you. According to Todd, the only people coming out of Kyle factory are them and the Burton family tree stuff that's using the recyclamine resin.
Yeah,
that's
which recyclamine allows you to completely break the board apart by dipping it in a chemical to turn it back to its original components or as close to it as possible. So it makes it easier to recycle it.
Yeah.
So
which totally fits with the whole brand concept of Niche.
Yeah.
And I'm just stoked that they're going to be out of that factory. Like, I rode some of the stuff, and it just feels more substantial. I guess he's saying they're using a little bit thicker base and thicker edges than they were at Mothership.
Okay.
And the boards just feel like they don't feel heavier. They don't feel like they feel really good. They still ride really, really well.
They looked amazing.
Yeah.
It's just like, this will be like the third time that it's switched factories, and I've got to ride the whole line again.
I know.
But they do have some new boards in the line.
Yep. Maelstrom.
Maelstrom is the first one.
And I am super excited about that board. I got a chance to ride it, and we'll get a full review once we actually get these things. I don't give full reviews on the stuff right at SA because I don't have enough time on them. But first impressions are very good.
So you can find the Maelstrom on page 21. And this thing, like, just the shape, everything in there, and what they're doing with it. It's a free ride carving, tapered directional, board with it. And it's directional camber, so it's set back. So you got a little rocker in the nose. It's...
kind of fills the gap of being basically cambered story, because they used to make that board in both camber and the rocker camber. And it just fills that void of having like that higher end charger board, but not rocker like story was. Yeah. So I'm hyped on that one for sure. Right.
And then, you've got another new model in the Crux on page 32, which this is like their all-mountain twin.
I would say theme-ish.
Theme-ish. It's a directional twin shape, center stance, and medium flex. So that's it. And it's camber dominant hybrid. So you got that camber 2.0 with that flat section. Then it comes down. And there's like a flat section right before the upkick and the tips,
right,
and stuff like that. Dude, they added a few new things this year too.
Wraith is the Wraith next one,
on page 36,
which I think is replacement to the new.
It's
flat, softer, true twin,
blunted shape.
Yep.
you know, well, they're kind of selling it as like that park deck all mountain, which I guess would be the new.
It's the closest thing.
Yeah. And
we'll see how it rides when we actually get one.
Well, technically, they claim it's not really flat. It's low-rise camber.
Do
so
they
it's probably like
rise?
3 millimeters of camber.
Oh, I guess they do call
or
it
it could be 3 millimeters of rocker. Like when you go to that, there's a plus-minus variable in there with any of them.
Yeah.
And then the final thing is the new women's nightshade on page 50.
Mm-hmm.
So this is cool. Like
women's camber.
Women's
which
camber.
they've needed.
Yeah, they've needed this for a while. But, you know, Anna and Kirsten, I think it's Kirsten. I hope it's Kirsten.
Kristen, I think.
Is it Kristen?
I think so.
They're, you know, the company's run by 2 women. Like, I don't know if people know that, but it is run by 2 women. And they do a great job of figuring out how to design the boards and do stuff. And graphically, like, Anna kills it with the graphics every year. Like,
yeah, Anna's graphics are always some of my favorites of the whole.
Because they're darker.
Like, yeah, and they just, like, the Maelstrom for this year, I think is absolutely amazing. And can I just say, I actually love the fact that under, like, the way that they have their catalog laid up when you're looking through this, and you should, because you get to see a little bit more close-ups of Anna's art in there, too, but there's H.P. Lovecraft little blurbs underneath the introduction of the board. So they give you the name of the board and then a Lovecraft like little section.
Yeah.
Instead of telling you anything about the board, they just go straight into Lovecraft, which I think is great.
Yeah. So that's always fun. Plus, I mean, they're not really a greenwashed company like some that you see out there. They actually are really trying to push the envelope. Like they were the first to use recyclamine, and they were the first to really push to try to be more environmentally friendly. Granted, I mean, there's only so much you can do when you're shipping shit everywhere.
Yep.
And if anyone hears a rumble in the background, they're cheese grating my street, evidently, because we're supposed to get snow. So,
yep.
Yeah. Anyways, let's move on to the next one.